242-7285. We are 25 days away from the start of college football season. We are later in the show. We hope to talk to Todd Grantham, the defensive coordinator at Florida. They're already practicing now because of their game on August 24th against the Miami Hurricane. We also hope to speak to Edgar Thompson of the Orlando Sentinel at the top of the next hour. But until then, let's go to the calls, and let's go to Bob in Alabama. Hello, Bob.
What's happening, Tony B?
It's all good, man. It's 25 days till the season starts. I wish it started this Saturday.
Well, I want to thank you for sitting in for Paul and doing such a good job. The show runs smoother, just a little crisper when you're on the board, doing a good job. We appreciate you sitting down and handling it for us. We enjoy listening to you, buddy.
Thank you, Bob. The pleasure's mine.
Well, here's the deal. I was talking to you, Screener, and basically you were talking earlier about Texas A&M, Texas, and Georgia, Florida, and the different rivalries. And I'm fixing to make you and me both feel real old. Do you realize what 2019 is the 30th anniversary of here in the Deep South?
30th anniversary, that would be 1989. What's that anniversary?
Move the Iron Bowl out of Birmingham.
That's right. I told somebody. It's funny you should say that, Bob, because I told somebody this morning about landmark games for me, and I told them the most emotional day I've ever spent, not for me personally, but watching it unfold, was December 2nd, 1989. There's never been anything like that in my career. People who were lined up at the Tiger Walk and what was on the line, and Alabama's got a chance to win the championship and play for the national championship and all that. It was it's hard to believe that it's been 30 years, but you're right.
30 years. I'm dating you and I both, but if they had moved the Florida Georgia game, and if they would get the Texas A&M and Texas game back and go home on home. I'm an Auburn graduate, bleed orange and blue, no red, white, and corpuscles on my body. You cut me, I bleed orange and blue.
Mm-hmm.
I went there, my kids went there. Both of them got graduate degrees from Alabama, so I'm not as rabid as some people are. I still have a lot of respect for the University of Alabama. And I think if you could get even their staunchest fan to admit it, moving the game was a good thing for both schools and certainly for both towns. It was just a financial windfall for both cities.
Yes. Well, listen, both Alabama and Auburn had sunk millions into upgrades to their stadiums. And so with Legion Field aging the way it was, it made complete sense to move the game home and home. So yeah, that was a good move for both schools.
Well, I know you mentioned the fact you feel like that the world's greatest cocktail party needs to say arguably a neutral site, but in my opinion, I think both universities look at it, if no other reason, for the economics involved. And it's just, I'm not sure it's probably in some ways more bitter than the Alabama-Auburn game, but the end result for both schools and for both alumni bases, if we've got something we're very proud of, we've had some, unbelievable games at Jordan-Hare. They've had some unbelievable games at Bryant-Denny. And so it's been good for both schools, both cities. And I just want to kind of remind you of that because you're like me, you're no longer in your 30s. And so you remember those days and say, wow, has it really been that long?
It really has been that long. And I will never forget Pat Dye's speech after that game when he talked to the media. That was absolutely incredible. Well, Bob, I appreciate you taking me on that trip down memory lane. I'm gonna scoot here and take another call, but thanks for calling.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Good job.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Let's go to AJ in Notre Dame. AJ, I've got about 2 minutes. What do you got on your mind?
Okay, Tony, first of all, thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
My big thing was, like, listening earlier, I've been listening for a little bit today, hearing about how unfair Notre Dame's schedule is, and we hear this every year, and it gets bored. Like, I get tired of hearing it. If it's really that bad, then get an ACC. I mean, quit being an independent school and quit complaining about your schedule. And not just that, when's the last time Notre Dame's actually won a game that mattered? When's the last time, going back to the BCS, I remember them getting embarrassed by Oregon State back then, and they still have not really won a meaningful game since then.
Well, it all goes back to really goes back to 2012 when they just get hammered. They got hammered by Alabama in the championship game, and then last year they get hammered with an undefeated team. And so they've got. I still believe if they go undefeated with that schedule, they're going to get into the playoffs. But they better do something when they get there.
Well, that's my question, though. Why do we keep getting sucked into this? Why do we keep buying into Notre Dame? If they do this, then they should be in the playoffs. They got embarrassed last year by Clemson.
AJ, you know the answer to that question. Why does Notre Dame get these opportunities? But why do they get
Notre Dame?
Because they're Notre Dame. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know that.
I'm just saying, I get that, but why are we going to give them a pass? You should, if you really want to do something about it, put them in the ACC and make them have to play Clemson in the ACC title game to be there.
Well,
just
to me, that as we move forward, and the key, of course, as you know, the key, of course, is does Notre Dame when their TV contract with NBC is up, do they get the same kind of deal? All right, or do they get a different kind of deal that it's all about the finances. It's not about who's winning and losing and all that kind of stuff. It's about the money. Hey, AJ, I got to run. I got what we call in the business a hard break. So thanks for calling. I appreciate it. Call us next time. All right. We're going to take a break now. We'll come back at the 6 o'clock hour. We're going to talk to Edgar Thompson of the Orlando Sentinel. We are trying to get Todd Grantham, the Florida Gators defensive coach, and we hope to do that in the second hour. Stay tuned. This is Tony Barnhart sitting in for Paul Feinbaum. This is the Paul Feinbaum Show.
All right, it's time for some straight talk. You wouldn't pay $100 for seats to a baseball game where you can get the same seats for $50. So why pay more on your wireless when you can get the same 4G LTE networks for up to half the cost? For $45 a month, get our unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data from Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, only at Walmart.
Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Summer. Time to hit the open road and explore the boundless beauty this country has to offer. And, of course, your kid's in the backseat arguing over whether you can lick your own elbow. Traffic hasn't moved in 48 minutes, and every time you roll down the window, more mosquitoes invade the car. Fortunately, a McDonald's is never far away, where you can get a fresh beef quarter pounder, the easier way to enjoy summer. At participating U.S. McDonald's, excludes Alaska, Hawaii, and U.S. territories.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit ignition.
And then?
And then nothing. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite. Look out! Look out! And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
If you have over $10,000 in credit card debt and are behind on your monthly payments, you need to make this free call right now. 800-428-4187. When you call the Stop Debt Hotline, you're taking the first steps for help. Debt specialists are part of a real team who will help you with all of your options. You could stop the collection calls and letters forever by calling the completely confidential toll-free number right now. 800-428-4187. 800-428-4187. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can handle your debt forever. Imagine no more late nights and no more debt. Don't try to face your creditors alone. Call the Stop Debt Hotline right now. 800-428-4187. 800-428-4187. Get free information now by calling the Stop Debt Hotline. 800-428-4187. Non-attorney spokesperson paid for by Debt Resolution Helpline. 102 Northeast 2nd Street, number 183, Boca Raton, Florida, 33432.
Every home run. There's a swing and a drive out to left. Pache at the track, at the wall. It is gone! Every strikeout. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Whether they're home or away, every minute of every Blue Wahoos game. And the ball game is over with one of the greatest comebacks in the history of this Wahoos franchise. This is the home of the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
America's veterans are more than a source of pride. They're a source of strength. When our veterans thrive, our communities thrive. With your support, our veterans can get career and education opportunities as well as benefits they've earned.
Hello, I'm Senator Marco Rubio. Join me in thanking our nation's veterans. They've given so much. Find out how you can support veterans in our community.
This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5 is accepting applications for employment. Periodically, we have openings in sales, business, news, promotions, engineering, production, and programming. We'll keep your application for consideration when such an opening occurs. We also provide internships to qualified students. Apply online at ESPNpensacola.com or at our studios at 7251 Plantation Road behind University Town Plaza on Davis Highway between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. ADX Communications is an equal opportunity employer.
This is Pensacola's hometown all-sports station and home of the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Catch all the Wahoos games home and away all season, plus all the latest Wahoos news from Chad Brillante on the Sports Drive, 5 till game time weeknights. And hey, if your business would like to partner with us as an advertiser or with a local sports promotion, then give us a call at 850-262-6000 or shoot us an email from the advertise page on ESPNpensacola.com.
Super Bowl. Number Watson is wearing a green jacket, and this time his name is Bubba.
Pitch on the way. Russell drives one in the air. Deep left center. That back near the wall has got a chance. Grand slam. Grand slam, Addison Russell. The new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
And Richardson breaks free on the sideline. End zone. How about that? Bama scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trent Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And these them Louisiana, Pensacola guys, they looking crazy and all that.
Morris, blocked by the tight end call. That opens up the door. Breaking the Cambridge tackle. To the pylon. Touchdown.
Really nice effort there by Alfred Morris, extending that ball over the goal line.
Near side ball is that big game. Doug Baldwin's got a first down. Doug Baldwin, 93 yards, now has back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons.
Reggie Evans, and he's going to get an ovation. Guy from Pensacola, Florida.
And welcome into the Sports Drive right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV. I am Chad Brillante. Glad to get rolling here on a Tuesday, and an important sales call meeting
Yeah,
right
we
there.
got ghosts in
There
the
we go.
studio
Look at
with us,
that
yeah.
right there. Nice way to start off. More than one voice, having some fun. Got myself a new pocket square going on here.
I
This
like
is, it's.
I like it.
little
We got a lot
Argonaut,
of new things today. We got our camera one back, so hi, everybody has to stare directly
That's
at
cool.
my face
There you
when I
go.
talk now. Yeah.
I like it. We got all the cameras working. We're having some fun. I know Bree, John, all the folks back there at Blab TV doing a great job as always. We're having a fun time. I told them last week, I was down there actually a couple times this week too, and I was talking with all the guys, Quentin and Corbin, and I said it would be really cool to get like the view from over there where they can cut in because they're the ones really playing keyboard cats back there.
Yeah.
The pros back there. We just josh around and have fun over here, and during football we're going to be eating snacks and doing that kind of stuff. But it would be cool if there's a way that they could like wave in, like Paul Schaefer does with Letterman back in the day, like ha, 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 back at you, or have some, or give that face like no, like the Mutombo when
and they can just hold it out. Whoa, too far.
But we have a lot to get to. We're way less than a month now away from when I say that. About a Johnny Manziel hangover away from the Florida and Miami game, getting set to go
days.
here. I think people are trying to hype this game up a little more than it should be outside of fans. And what I mean by that is, look, grew up in a Florida household. Went down there. My best friend was a Golden Cane. We got to drink that. The most incredible chocolate milk in a House of Randomness stories today. The most incredible chocolate milk in the history. 50% of this country believes that chocolate milk comes from brown cows, by the way. That is not a joke. I saw that.
I don't care where it comes from. It's delicious.
It's
all I know.
incredible. And I remember sitting down there. Everybody wears ponchos like they're in some like Pecos Bill Western movie. And I remember sitting there alongside Bernie Kosar, Vinny Testaverde, and had a blast. We went to the Rose Bowl. We went to the Pasadena game where Ohio State got it done on that controversial but incredible win right there where Willis McGahee's knee went back. And I remember sitting there and thinking, okay, the U dominated. Still to this day, that 2000 Canes team was the best team in the history of college football. Best roster. I don't care who you are. Alabama's had some great ones. Florida's had some good ones. Florida State. You've had teams out there. We've watched Nebraska, the 95 Tommy Frazier squad with all the guys. Big Corey Schlesinger in the backfield. Lawrence Phillips, who had a good on-the-field career. Everything you look at, you can look at some of the great teams of all time. But that Miami team dominated. Florida dominated a time. Now we're talking about a team that's hopefully getting back in the mix as a contender in Florida, a team that still lost Kentucky last year but is getting better and is in the right path. What they did against Michigan, on the right path. But they're not elite just right now in college football. They're not as a roster, not name base, but as a roster, elite just yet. And then you have a team in Miami who just got embarrassed by the Wisconsin Badgers out there in Bucky dancing all over them at the Pinstripe Bowl, one of those games you watch because it's college football and you have nothing better to do around the Christmas time. And they were only, they finished 6-6 or 7-5 last season?
I think 7-6.
Yeah. After the bowl, I think it was 7-6. We're talking about two teams that at one point, this game would have meant what it used to mean for Miami, Florida, and Florida State. What it would have meant was the winner of this game has a chance to be the front runner for a national title. Sort of what the Iron Bowl has become in a lot of regards over the last couple seasons, where it comes down to Auburn or Alabama, or what LSU versus Alabama has become. Those games could mean it all. We're hoping Florida and Georgia go down that path, but right now we have some time. But around the country, I don't think it has that same appeal to me, and I think this is fair. This game is Virginia Tech versus West Virginia when they play at the beginning of the season. And I know you might go, oh, that is just rude.
But it's fair. It's fair.
I think it's
correct.
a fair answer.
Yeah. I think if you look at this game, and I think even for Florida, if Florida manages to beat Miami and to beat Florida State, the whole football world in the state of Florida is down right now. Outside of Florida and even Central Florida, those are about the only two teams that are really kind of keeping it up as far as the major.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. No, continue.
As far as the major world of college football goes, now obviously we have smaller schools throughout the state. Florida Tech's doing a great job. UWF's doing a great job. But as far as like the main level, it's Florida and Central Florida. Miami's down. Florida State's down. Florida Atlantic, Florida International. We're not quite sure what they're going to be. So you look at this, and even if Florida is able to pull off the sweep and beat Miami and Florida State, it's not really something to brag about that you're state champions, because it's not really good football being played right now, and it's odd to see that in the state of Florida, where it's such a talent-rich state. You would think that the programs would be able to stay on top. But, yeah, this game is being overhyped. I think a lot of people are looking at this, and it's because we have 2 Power 5 teams playing week 1. A lot of people don't even realize Arizona and Hawaii are playing the same day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this has been touted as the only game to start off the season, and it's not. It's not. We've got another one that's being played between Arizona and Hawaii. I think it's just because of the caliber and the history of these two teams. Really, if you look at it, game day's not going to be there. SEC Nation's not going to be there, and that should lend a hand and tell you how big of a game this actually is not, because if it was a big game, they'd be there.
Yeah, this is coming from a Florida fan.
It is, yeah.
Looking at Jerry Jones talking about the Dallas Cowboys would be fine without Ezekiel Elliott. Here's the deal with all of this, and I've seen the arguments back and forth about this. If you're at a doctor the other day, and kids are moving up quickly. This kid probably graduated 5th grade when he was 2. I mean, one of those kind of kids. But I had a doctor the other day I was talking to. He's got a real pocket square, not this UWF magnet that I have.
I like
here.
that.
I do like this one. But, and I always feel like if somebody's wearing a pocket square and a jacket.
37 days away from their start,
that's right.
By the way, yeah.
If you're wearing a jacket and you actually have time to put together a really nice pocket square, you're either like a Baptist minister, or you have a really cool job that you actually like care to get up every day. And
don't be fooled by that. Any man that's walking around wearing a pocket square right now, his wife folded that for him.
That's
I
right.
guarantee you that.
He has an incredible wife,
Yeah.
or he has a free dry cleaning bill. But you look right now at Jerry Jones' comment. But to the point of this guy who was 25 years old and he was already a neurosurgeon. I mean, I'm like, geez, I thought you had to go to 6 years just to get there. So obviously this guy scooted it right along.
Yeah.
And I'm not being stereotypical. His name was Patel. But
Okay.
I remember it really was. But sorry, folks. Indians, there's a lot of Indian doctors. Moving on here to this. So you look right now at Jerry Jones's comment.
Uh-huh.
This guy is a doctor, a neurosurgeon. And he has probably never seen a Jerry Jones Dallas Cowboy Super Bowl. So before we start jumping into Ezekiel Elliott and talking about whether or not they can win a Super Bowl without him, go ahead and win a Super Bowl first and then prove that. Because unless you're around for Emmitt Smith, Pensacola's own, and Michael Irvin, good old Troy Aikman throwing to Alvin Harper and Jay Novacek and Moose Johnson and all the guys up front, half of your fans out there that are paying for season tickets have never even seen you be in a Super Bowl. So what is this conversation? I love when people jump to the conclusions, or people call out a Tom Brady, or people go after a Patrick Mahomes, or somebody calls out. Like, Dan Mullen was having fun with it, but Florida has had teams that has beat Georgia, but Georgia's clearly dominated Florida over the past couple of years. I love the teams that, look, UCF jokingly messes with people. The realistic UCF fans know we did beat Auburn, but if we set a game, even at our best against Mackenzie Milton on our prime team that won that game against Auburn, against an Alabama team, I would set the spread at about 16 to 17 points in favor of Alabama, at least.
Yeah.
I'm not being stupid here. I'm being realistic. Jerry Jones making this comment about Elliott, whether he's there or not, you're not winning a Super Bowl. You have Dak Prescott at quarterback who's good, but he's not as good as the guys around. You're not as good as the Rams right now. You're not as good, if Carson Wentz is healthy, as the Eagles. Maybe that's a toss-up. But let's not sit here and act like the Dallas Cowboys are the best team in the league and that this comment is, we just lost that guy.
Right.
When Max Scherzer went out there and Max Scherzer got hurt on the IR, he's on the IR now. Not a good news story that people in Washington want to hear. But guess what? If Washington doesn't make the postseason, they can say, hey, you know what? Not having Max Scherzer is the reason. If you want to say we might not be able to make the playoffs without Elliott, or we might be a better football team without him because it gives Dak more opportunity to throw, I don't buy that. But the conversation it's ridiculous. It's like a bunch of guys sitting around there, overweight guys eating a bunch of Cheetos on the couch, wiping their greasy hands all over their pants and talking about, all right, man, what 10 are we going to date this week? You going to date that Victoria's Secret model? You going to date that one?
Kate up
all
the way.
Unless you've got some cool, one of those virtual reality games going on there.
Yeah.
That's not happening, bro. So what's happening here with Jerry Jones' comment, and it has become a huge stink today.
It has. Yeah.
You're not a Super Bowl contender to me anyway. To me, there's a short list of teams, and it goes Patriots, Chiefs, Saints,
Dolphins,
Rams, Rams, and then probably, to me, that's where the thin line is, and a couple people might pull a sneaky Pete and come back, but overall, to me, you've got the Patriots and the Chiefs, and then on the other side, you've got the Rams and you got the Saints, and if the Bears can get a little bit better with the quarterback, I even put them right there in the mix. Seattle, when they're healthy, then you've got Seattle. Then you've got teams like Dallas. But Dallas isn't in my Fab 5 right now to win a Super Bowl anyway. So Elliott or not, to me, and I know there's a lot of Cowboy fans out there, and you can say whatever you'd like because, frankly, sometimes the truth hurts.
Yeah.
In 23 years, 1996 was the last time you've been to the Super Bowl. Now, you won, and it was a great dynasty. But 1996 was the last time you've been to a Super Bowl. You've had, 3 combined playoff wins since then? And we're going to sit here and act like, well, let's have the conversation if Elliott does play or not. I still think we're the Super Bowl team. That's great. That's just a bunch of billionaire owner talk. Because to me, go out there and at least get to the Super Bowl first. Jared Goff and the LA Rams have a better conversation with Gurley or not. Can we get to a Super Bowl? Because they actually did it. 0.5. It's a fraudulent call, and the Saints are actually putting the refs under oath, which I think is pretty funny.
Yeah.
We'll talk some more on that. But I just don't get how sometimes people, we can win the Super Bowl without Zeke. Well, why don't you prove you can get to the Super Bowl with Zeke? Because he is one of the best running backs. He makes some ridiculously blank comments. I mean, I wanted to say what I did, but this isn't Sirius XM. At the same time, he makes them a better team, and they still can't make the Super Bowl. So why are you trying to tell the people you can win a Super Bowl without him? Because you know he's clearly one of the best, and you haven't been to the Super Bowl. So let's stop even going down a path that is hypothetical purple dragons on heroin, because this makes no sense.
No, and here's my thing to Jerry Jones. If you don't need Zeke Elliott with all the crap that he's done and he's been in trouble for inside the NFL, why have you not drafted one of these young running backs? I mean, you had Josh Jacobs coming out from the University of Alabama in this past year's draft. Draft him, get rid of Zeke Elliott. Like, if you don't need him, get somebody else in there, get rid of him. Don't sit there and say, we don't need him to win a Super Bowl. If you don't need him, get rid of him, bring somebody else in there that helps the team and puts the team in a better situation, because Lord knows the offense can use any kind of help it can get. Fix the team, fix the problems. If you don't need him, get rid of him. Don't just sit there and talk.
Does a running back win a Super Bowl? A running back is part of the list, but Coach K. Stevenson has said it on Talk Football with Coach K, former coach, great X's and O's guy, and he has said he was a former quarterback in the NFL. It goes quarterback, obviously, number one.
Yep.
A great pass rusher, defensive lineman, or hybrid linebacker. And then today's NFL, how the game's going, if you have an elite of the elite wide receiver, think about it. Michael Thomas's value, to me, is more important than when Mark Ingram was there. Now, Alvin Kamara is different because he's a hybrid. Alvin Kamara gets just as many receptions as almost anyone in the NFL when healthy. So that's not really fair to say, because if you have one of those hybrid, Kamara, Gurley, Shady McCoy back in the day in his prime, Le'Veon Bell when he's not in a hazy situation, all of those guys are just as valuable because their dynamics is both their extension of the run game is them catching the ball out of the backfield and going 90 yards. So that's a little different. But no, the old school bruiser running backs, no, you can win without them. Heck, you don't even know week in and week out the team that has 6 rings who their running back has been. At one point, they won with a guy that was in the Grey Cup in Jonah Gray. They'd picked him up the week before. James White wasn't anybody before he got with a guy like Tom Brady. You had Deion Lewis, who everywhere he's been since the Patriots has been nothing with Tennessee. You had LeGarrette Blount, who, look, he was smoking as a Philly Blunt out there in Philadelphia for the Eagles, but ever since he's been with anyone else, Lions, mediocre. Before that, mediocre. So let's not go down a path is a running back today in the NFL is completely different than what a running back was in the 90s. When you were good hands with Allstott back there for the Tampa Bay Bucks, or you had Jerome Bettis running people over, rumbling, stumbling, bumbling, or the guys like Emmitt Smith who could change the dynamics of a team behind an incredible offensive line, Barry Sanders, who still never won Super Bowls behind a horrible offensive line. But yeah, we're done talking about. Jerry Jones has made a lot of comments. He's rapped with Papa John's and Pepsi, too, at the age of 78. But for somebody to make the comments, we're going to win the Super Bowl without Zeke, like, win the Super Bowl with him, and then that becomes a conversation.
Right.
It's like Toronto coming out and saying, hey, we can win without Kawhi. Everybody be like, start laughing and be like, oh, those poor. They're the champs.
Yeah.
Clemson, hey, we can win with Hunter Bryce if Trevor Lawrence went down. I don't want that bad mojo on you, but if he went down, if they were like, we could still win with Hunter Bryce, you know what? Hey, you got a whole year to prove it because you're the champs. Dallas, 23 years ago. Last time you were in a Super Bowl.
I was 5.
A lot of people listening to the show weren't even alive, and that is the audience I'm going for. 3 and under. We're coming back for more. Big fans right there. Blah, 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 blah. Coming back for more right here on the Sports Drive.
Welcome to Mode!
Okay, hi, what are we doing today?
I need something that screams something fun. Nothing too on the face, nothing too off the face, but also totally hot.
So I have the perfect thing. It's the most food mullet. You're totally business in the front, but tailgate in the back. It's a fat party. People are having fun. Snap. All your friends are going to be like, whoa, awesome setup. Everyone else is going to be all jelly, okay?
Just like a killer mullet, Moe's Catering will turn the back of your ride into a tailgate party that's sure to turn some heads. Just order ahead and pick it up on your way.
Moe's Southwest Grill, now open in Pace on Highway 90 next to Publix grocery store.
Ted here, dialing in from Denver.
Kenzie and the Chicago team dialing in.
Okay, let's get started.
Ted's in charge of this project. He's a total goober. And what's with the haircut?
Guys, can definitely hear you. Like, really good reception.
Conference call's no-brainer, the mute button. Barbasol's no-brainer, finally making razors to go along with America's favorite shaving cream. Try Barbasol's Ultra 6 Plus razor with 6 ultra-thin blades for a close, comfortable shave.
Barbasol. Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Every home run. There's a swing and a drive out to left. Pache at the track, at the wall. It is gone! Every strikeout. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Whether they're home or away, every minute of every Blue Wahoos game. And the ball game is over with one of the greatest comebacks in the history of this Wahoos franchise. This is the home of the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
It's Chad Brillante. This past Saturday at Grizzly Axes was a blast. I did not win the hanging challenge, but I did beat JC's time. Heyo! Grizzly Axes is an exhilarating team-building experience. Corporate events, bachelorette parties, heck, even hanging out with your friends after work, enjoying some cold beer and throwing axes. Grizzly Axes, Pensacola's go-to location for stress-releasing fun. Reserve your zone right now at grizzlyaxe.com. Maybe win the $100 hanging challenge. Be a grown axe man at Grizzly Axes on Davis Highway.
Hi, I'm Tom Menger, the new driver compensation manager at Schneider. As a former truck driver, I know the importance of being paid accurately and on time. Trust that I'm always working with that in mind. I'm also an example of career progression opportunities at Schneider. I started as a driver in 2002, and when I was ready to come off the road, I became a driver trainer and later moved into other leadership roles. I've had a great 17-year run, and so could you. Learn more about driving careers and other opportunities at schneiderjobs.com. That's schneiderjobs.com.
And welcome back, Sports Drive with you right here. Now that I've ticked off every Cowboy fan, 850-972-1945. That seems to be a trend in football, ticking off Cowboy fans.
It's not hard to do either.
And then I just walk out of the studio with a Patriot jersey on. And then it's just like volcano, it's like one of those Dante's Peak, one of the greatest movies, obviously acting of all time. And it starts off little brumbles, and then all of a sudden just. When you see the Patriot gear, oh, you son of a... right now, Last Chance U, if you haven't seen it out there, it's about East Mississippi Community College, and it's got some great athletes. If you haven't seen the community college game, junior college pretty much around the South, some incredible athletes have had a chance to go out there and go on to play pro football. Think of a guy like Cam Newton from Blinn Junior College after it didn't go so well with some software updates in Florida. So all of a sudden, you get a chance at East Mississippi has a number of guys that are fighting to get back onto some major rosters, some big-time teams, make it back to the SEC. Been in trouble. Maybe the grades weren't there, or maybe had to stay back home. But this is an opportunity for a number of guys, and 3 players from right here in the area. It's going to be pretty cool to watch Season 4 right there. Zachary Blocker is one of them. Yeah, I remember watching his games when he was at Catholic.
That's right, yeah.
6'2" quarterback. You got Shamari Jones is going to be out there as well, and DeQuaris Gaines. So you got 3 guys that are in the show that are from Pensacola. It's pretty cool. Getting to see those guys represented and get that second opportunity or get that opportunity to go out there and star, and we'll be keeping an eye on it. Coming up, we're going to talk a little more on LeBron James. Look, the proud daddy thing, I've seen people, everybody wants to take a stance, and that's fine. Speaking up, I'd rather somebody speak up on an action than be sitting there and not, but it just depends because you can warp people's opinion because obviously everything somebody wants to read on the internet is true. And when it comes down to LeBron James, everybody is saying, proud daddy, proud daddy. Who's your daddy? He didn't say that, but that was funny. Jason Tatum came out today and said, if the show just got cut off, it would be like, oh, man, what, Jason Tatum came out? Okay, Jason came out today and said, with so many fathers not supporting their kids, we get upset because he is genuinely happy for his son. That's crazy, man. I can't wait till my son gets older and I can get to support him and everything he wants to do. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Here's the point, though. I agree LeBron James is supporting his son, but let's go back into the take names and status alert, or that blue check mark and $1 billion served, and let's just go ahead and go with what we would think if you had a situation where, Jordan, you and I,
right,
Leighton's in a game, she's playing in like a 5-year-old game, she goes up there, dunks a play school hoop, or you got a cousin and you're out there at a game, and Upward game down the road, or a game at Olive Baptist Church a block away from here, wherever we're at, and we're at a game, and one of our relatives, because this is about to be funny, you're going to laugh at this, but one of our relatives goes out there.
It's that ghost.
That ghost is not happy with that. The comment right there. The ghost of LeBron. The king. The king's got his warriors here.
He does.
So if it was just anybody else,
okay,
and you watched your family member make a dunk, and you got out there and just started like, all over the court, doing like, come on, ride that train, like doing like an electric slide. You're dancing around, man. People are going wild. You're breaking it down, like doing the grinder. You got the sprinkler going on. You're all classic sprinkler movie. All of these things are happening. You're either going to be escorted out of the building or not allowed back to watch your kid play, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Well, I mean, that, and for the people, oh, come on. Look, we're not, I don't frankly care either way, but I think the people attacking LeBron James were not attacking him because he was supporting his kid.
Right.
They were attacking him because he danced on the floor for about 4 minutes, and everybody was like, oh, LeBron, man, oh, get. Like, just because you're LeBron James, which when it comes to a basketball game, pretty much there's nobody higher than you ranked that can dance on a floor at this time. MJ could probably back in his day, and he got to dance around with Bugs Bunny and people in Space Jam. But if you watch the video, LeBron is, I mean, he's clearly in the middle of the game, all over the court dancing. I mean, he's probably out by the free throw line dancing all over the court while it's still going on. And if anybody else tried that, they would be escorted out kindly or maybe with force. So that's the kind of thing is, just because you get to a point, it's like these athletes that get in trouble for DUIs or driving drunk or doing this, like you still have to abide by the same laws.
Right.
You don't get to just smoke that J out the window and say, no, don't worry, I play D-tackle. I play D-tackle at, don't worry, I'm good. We're cool, bro. No, we're not cool. Put your hands behind your back. Like, those kind of things we got to realize you're one of the people on that court. And good for LeBron, son. Good for LeBron. I think Jason Tatum has it right. It's great to see people out there supporting their kids. I think that's awesome. Kids look up to you, and they're looking around. We played with Christopher Robin and Owl and Winnie the Pooh for about 4 hours this morning, and my daughter was stoked when I left. You know, the things that you get to do with your family are the most important things in your life, and you'll realize that as you get older, or sometimes you're probably realizing that now, how much you miss your mom and dad. You had to move away, how much you miss your brother, your family. I love what you see in LeBron James. I love that passion. I love that he's being a father figure when his dad wasn't there. I love all of that. But clearly, we're missing the point here, people. You can't dance like you're doing some kind of like tribal dance, like, oh, ja, 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 like something Rafiki would do in Lion King. You can't do that all over the middle of the court in the middle of a game. I don't care who you are. It wasn't even a timeout. The game was going on. So for the people that are probably saying things about LeBron James, they have a point to say things about LeBron James because he shouldn't have been in the middle of the court dancing. He should have enough respect. That's where I'm going with that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know it's LeBron James.
Yeah.
I know people want to revert back to the answer to this question is come on, right. It's LeBron. You know, like that's the answer. It's not, oh, he didn't do anything wrong. Because if your uncle did that, dressed right now in like a Dale Jr. shirt, and he had a backwards cap, and he started doing that, think about that. I mean, we laugh, but if you had your grandfather that has a hairy chest and a cutoff tee and a backwards cap with nachos start doing that in the court tonight at a basketball game, he's going to be either asked to leave or escorted out. He will, and he's doing exactly the same exact thing LeBron James is. His status update, though, is this guy's creepy, get him off the floor, where everybody else goes, oh, man, LeBron James. And I see this guy, which Jordan Glass, if you're watching on TV right now.
You got to watch out, man. They're getting you on that pick and roll every single time, Ricky. You got to watch out for that.
If you or a man dressed like me that thinks he's going to the Hamptons on a cheaper suit, all of us right here sitting here, if we tried this dance today, I would hope we'd be escorted out. That's all I'm going to say on that issue.
I don't know. With the way you're dressed, they may think you own the arena and just let you do it. They're just like, oh, that guy's...
This fake UWF magnet that is stuck here. I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm still trying to get my stuff like.
I'd have my kids run if I was out there. All right, moving on to the next thing here. Roger Goodell and the Saints are going to have to go under oath. I know a lot of people have talked about. Look, let's move on from the game. This is a whole waste of time because it's not going to change the fact. It's not going to change the outcome.
Right.
But Saints fans more than anybody, because I'm married to one. I have plenty of fans that are in my circle of friends. Look, we live down here in New Orleans, Saints country. We cover the Saints. It's the closest team. We have a lot of Saints fans everywhere we go.
Right, yeah.
And they're also from New Orleans and from Louisiana. So they're going to be a little louder than Nana from Minnesota.
A little more lubricated.
Little more. If this was a story of Minnesota or Green Bay, this thing probably would have already been like, oh, it was rough. It was rough for us. It was very rough, but that's how it goes sometimes. That's how it goes. We're a boot to win next year.
And I think that's the thing for New Orleans Saints
Sorry,
fans.
that was rude.
I think that's the thing, though, for Saints fans is, and I was actually talking about this with Justin, the producer for Sports Call on Saturdays. He was downstairs getting ready. Obviously, he does some brand ambassador work for Cat Country. He's going to be out for him at Bands on the Beach
Okay,
tonight.
awesome.
So we were talking about this before the show started.
LeBron will be dancing at Bands on the Beach, just
He'll be
all
on
over the stage.
Yeah. Intermission. That's going to be the end. But we were talking about this, and my whole thing with this is drop it, let it go. The 2019 season is getting ready to start. As a matter of fact, the preseason gets kicked off day after tomorrow. So go ahead, and you can only see the uncle now, can't you?
No, my mind is
the hat backwards.
How my mind has been warped over the years. When you said "drop it, let it go," I thought you were breaking out into a rap song. That's why I mean it just.
Well, I didn't know like, because you also have a young daughter, so I was going to say, is that "Let It Go" like Frozen?
Want me beatbox for it? Drop it, let it go, let it go.
Nobody wants me rapping on this show. That will quickly turn them off from the show. But no, drop it, let it go. Look. You're gonna be probably the top contender inside the NFC. You're probably gonna be in the Super Bowl this year. Forget about last year. It sucked that it happened, yes, but you can't do anything about it now. Just get ready for the 2019 season and move on.
I think it's funny. Commissioner Roger Goodell and 3 officials from January's NFC title game will be questioned under oath from the September infamous no call that helped the LA Rams beat the New Orleans Saints in January for the game. A lawyer said Monday. Attorney Antonio Lemon filed a lawsuit over the game that advanced the Rams to the Super Bowl, said he and league attorneys will pick a mutually agreeable date for depositions in New Orleans, barring any league appeals that might delay or cancel the questioning. So, I would love a show, Horrible Refs Under Oath, or a show, Polygraph This, something like that. Or you know what I'm saying? Like, you force, we have Chris Hansen that breaks into the house for more important things, so like arrest pedophiles and things. So, it is. But those are like people that do need to go off the streets. This guy, we all get to, Bill Vinovic did not do it. He did ruin a lot of people's Sunday.
Yeah.
And a lot of months after that, but he physically did not harm people like what Chris Hansen is trying to say. But I'm Chris Hansen. But when it comes down to Bill Vinovic,
the pedophile and then they arrest him for B&E. Yeah.
I honestly, that would be one of the highest ranked shows if you had a situation where you had a guy like Stephen A. Smith can host it. Be like, look, this guy was like a brother to me, but we're about to break into his house. We're about to break right into his house. Watch this. Like, break up and like, sir, grab the polygraph, like chloroform him, like his wife's like, where, Mrs. Vinovic, get over the side right here. And he wakes up and he's on the polygraph.
He wakes up, Stephen A. Smith's just sitting over there on the other end with a cigarette in his hand. He goes, that call was not only ASA 9, ASA 10, ASA 11, but ASA 12.
Now listen up here, Bill.
I don't know why mine sounded more like Dave Chappelle than Stephen A.
We're going to sit here for a second. And you are going to let the people know if they already know that you blew that game. Let's get the machine. And then kindly the guy walks in with glasses, like John Clayton looking guy, and being like, all right, couple questions here for you. Is the earth round? Kyrie's like, oh, crap, man, I'm already... But, all right, where are you from? California. Okay, that's correct. Did you blow that game on purposely last year? No, I did not. They'll be like, oh, shoot, all of a sudden, and then you have Sean Payton, a couple people come in with like, oh, we got you, man. And then, no, they still get punked because they still lost the game. But
for no reason, John Gruden's there. Man, I tell you what, man, that's a good way to take a lie detector test right there, man.
Polygraph This. It's the best show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Brady.
I'll bring the Coronas, man. I'll bring the Coronas. I'll bring the Corona girls. Got some Hooter girls as well. We'll have fun.
Bob Kraft, did you know you were going to become Kraft Macaroni and Sleaze when you went down to South Florida? I don't have time for this. Oh, he does have time, folks. Everything going on in sports, it'd be so funny. It would be hilarious. Back at Shaq, Kobe, did you ever always get along when you played? Oh, we were best of bud. Carmelo Anthony, can he still play in today's NBA? Yeah, man, I think we could. This show would be great.
That should come with electric shock therapy. If you think Carmelo can still play in the NBA, that should come with electric shock therapy.
James Harden, do you believe what you do is not a travel? Oh, I mean, it's just a pivot. Man, this show would be great. You have classics. I mean, all the time. And for this, look, they're going to go under oath. The NFL doesn't. They will never open up a can that is going to make them look worse.
Right.
So even if this is going to be buried deep on the Ocho. This is not going to be a story. Really isn't. Like I said, it's one of those that you see those movies that the guy gets some kind of justice, but they really don't. I mean, ultimately, you still lost. You lost your home. You lost your life. You lost your wife. You lost your kids. You lost everything. But they get back like one of those, like they in a back alley and give them a jab, and then like they think they've done something special. Yeah, this is one of these kind of things that the Saints will never get back that game. They will never get back that game. But at the same time, sometimes you just gotta.
Okay, that's enough of that.
Yeah, I felt bad. I saw you pulling that up, but frankly,
that and it's like,
Saints fans are like,
I regret that decision immediately.
Blank you, bro. We're not letting anything go. I feel the same. Hey, where are those tapes? Arlen Specter said. We're coming back for more right here on the Sports Drive.
Introducing. Nah, not big enough. It's the brand new. Nah, still not big enough. Introducing the brand new French-inspired topped with fresh fruit crepes lineup, only at Denny's. Yeah, that's better. There's the new banana chocolate hazelnut crepes, the banana berry caramel crepes, and the strawberry vanilla crepes, made with fresh strawberries, strawberry sauce, and vanilla cream. Fresh fruit, French, and delicious. Come try all three. See you at Denny's. Price and participation may vary. Limited time only.
All right, it's time for some straight talk. You wouldn't pay $100 for seats to a baseball game where you can get the same seats for $50. So why pay more on your wireless when you can get the same 4G LTE networks for up to half the cost? For $45 a month, get our unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data from Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, only at Walmart.
Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Sports is live and local every Saturday from 11 to 1.
Kawhi, him and his free agency, or him just sitting around waiting to sign with the team, had a lot to do with more than just the Lakers. There were other teams that were tied into this trade as well to determine their next moves. And for the Lakers, they still haven't finalized the Anthony Davis deal.
Sports Call with Jordan Glass and Davis Allen on your radio, on Facebook, and YouTube.
Southern California basketball is going to be where everybody's paying attention to this upcoming season.
At ESPN Pensacola 945.
Slappy!
Dude, where have you been?
Dude, I've been a lot of places. Most of them are Zach. I've not been thriving. I've been missing it, kid. A lot of drinking in the day.
I don't drink that much anymore.
Yeah,
I don't drink any less.
He still got it! Just so you know, when you get bald, sort of the wheels fall off the bus.
Speaking of your mom.
There's a reason they're not on the radio anymore. SVP and Russillo, the podcast. Listen and subscribe on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Sports is live and local every Saturday from 11 to 1.
This Toronto Raptor team deserved this championship because they played their butts off in the series.
Sports Call with Jordan Glass and Davis Allen on your radio, on Facebook, and YouTube.
Hey, maybe you played for losing teams growing up. You just maybe don't understand what it's like to be a champion like this. But guess what? Whenever you are the best team in the world, you're going to let everyone know you're the best team in the world.
At ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
Let's talk about Noah. Last year, he had a fast food delivery job. The hours were garbage. The pay was worse. So he went to My Computer Career. In less than 6 months, Noah started his IT career. Now he's in line for his second promotion. Is your job garbage? Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Classes meet just twice a week. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
And welcome back to the Sports Drive right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV. Chad Brillante with you. At 6:05, we'll send it out to the Pensacola Blue Wahoos as they continue their success. And they've been off to a great start here as you take a look at really a team that has taken the next step from being a couple years back with Cincinnati, you knew a lot of those guys were getting moved up immediately.
Right, yeah.
And now, all of a sudden, you had a situation where you saw a lot of the guys in Minnesota, you expected them to be getting moved up quick, but Minnesota has established themselves as a pretty dominant team. They're playing Miami, so I'm sure they'll get a couple more W's down there in South Florida this week. And you've had a couple guys like Luis Arenas, who's going to have their Arenas, and some of these other guys that have come out, and now they're starting. What you saw, a couple of the guys getting moved up. You had 2 or 3 players over the last couple of weeks that have had a chance to get up there. Smeltzer. We've watched guys get a chance to pitch that, like Randy Dobnak. This is a good team, but we're watching great players get a chance. We just saw the Pensacola Blue Wahoos a couple days ago move up another star. And, Jordan, we've got a number of players that you're going to see not only make an impact, but get called up late. And remember, what Adron Chambers did for the St. Louis Cardinals, and Adron Chambers from Pensacola, great guy, does a lot for the community. Adron Chambers was an intricate part when he got moved up for the Cardinals, playing along that David Freese team, that team with guys like Alan Craig that end up winning that first World Series. I know guys like Andrew McKay for News Radio excited about that one. But watching a lot of these young Blue Wahoo players get a chance quickly, Royce Lewis getting moved through the chains, #1 prospect, #1 overall player now with the Wahoos. This team is playing way better baseball, and they're starting to be on a tear lately. 6:05 tonight, they're taking on the Jumbo Shrimp.
Yeah, and that's going to be an interesting game. And, you talk about the kind of the attrition that goes with being a minor league team. If, you have these really good players and it makes you a really good team, but you're only a really good team for a small part of the year because those really good players eventually get called
Yes.
up. And I think that's why a lot of fans were kind of very confused when the Wahoos just kind of bottomed out there at the last half of the first half of the season. And that's why a lot of the players that made them what they were either got hurt or they were called up, and then they kind of had to rebuild, and we're slowly starting to see them rebuild now. I think they've won 6 of their last 7 ball games. Did fall last night to Jacksonville 1-0, but
They had won 7 straight.
so they won
yeah.
7 of their last 8 ball games.
Yeah.
So, they're getting things back and moving in the right direction now. And speaking of baseball, we've got news. Major League Baseball has fined Trevor Bauer for his tantrum in which he threw the ball over the outfield wall from the.
Oh, you know that was coming.
Yeah.
It's a different way of getting tossed.
Yeah.
If you missed this, Trevor Bauer has an edge. There's a couple guys that I'm like, I don't want to completely call you a you know what, like something that you don't call anybody.
It's like John Rocker without the racism. The temper's there, but
he could be an okay guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying. But he has
yeah.
that face. He has that face that looks angry, annoyed, and disgusted with everybody around him. Dan Marino had that face when he played football. Dan Marino, but when he would scream at Duper and Clayton on every play.
Oh, he's that guy.
Richmond Webb if he missed the block. But yeah, exactly. Larry Bird was like that.
Don't ask him. Ask him if he wants any replays on a tape for a commercial. My goodness.
And everybody doesn't have to be a smiley, happy-go-lucky guy. A lot of times people like that edge. I like to see a pitcher with an edge. I like the emotion, but I think when you chuck a ball over the wall in center field when you're getting pulled, that's a little different. And I was watching that game because, sadly, I'm watching these random games. That was Kansas City and Cleveland on a Sunday afternoon. There is no business for anybody in this market outside of those 2 fan bases watching, but I watch a ton of baseball. I way too much. I was about to say hot box it, but that's not cool. And all of a sudden, I got a ton of games going on, and I'm watching that game. And there's about 4 or 5 bad errors. There were some terrible plays in the field where he did not get bailed out.
Right.
One thing today is the home run numbers have gone extremely up over the last couple of years. This year, we've already set the record for most home runs that we've seen in baseball at this point of the season in the history of baseball. But the difference is also those big goons, you have to put them on the field. And there's only so many DHs in the AL, and in the NL, there's only so many first baseman and catcher. So you have these big guys, these like 6'4", 270 guys. Aaron Judge plays right field. He's actually decent. But there are some guys, like Tyler Austin was playing left field for the San Francisco Giants. Couldn't even catch a baseball. He was like, You have guys out there. You have these huge, slow as molasses type guys playing in the outfield and playing third base, and even sometimes playing a position. You had Mike Moustakas playing second base. He's a clear double play on a ball hit anywhere in the infield. And the thing is, these guys are now playing positions, so you're getting these plays where a routine ball to third base, guy's having a hard time picking up, and he chucks it in the stands. And look at the number of these big, huge guys that are playing in the field now. So the defense is down. Back in the day, you had, Ozzie Smith. You had all these guys, and you still have your Andrelton Simmons. You still have some of these really good players. There's a couple of them that are just phenomenal to watch. Yeah. J.P. Crawford, the shortstop for Seattle Mariners, is an insanely good fielder. But for the most part, defense has gone down the you-know-what. And it's at that point where, Trevor Bauer had enough. Because Cleveland's got a couple of those guys. And, the next thing you know, that ball, boop, boop.
And I'm like you. I like a pitcher with a little bit of edge, but I think Jonathan Papelbon was my. I think that was my limit
the stare
of edge.
down.
That was about my limit of edge that you could get from a pitcher as far as that type of mentality. But I think that you had to expect this. He's got to take it and just kind of deal with it, and just be a cooler head next time. I mean, even Francona was looking at him like, dude, come on. Like, bro, I understand you're upset, but really? And if you watch that video back, the greatest reaction of the entire video is the center fielder out there for the Indians is watching everything unfold on the Jumbotron, and then all of a sudden he sees the ball just fly over the outfield wall and land, and he just goes, it's just the greatest thing in the world.
So Blue Wahoos will be in action tonight at 6 o'clock when we're done here. Look, we had a Fortnite winner get $3.2 million. Good
and
for him.
He's 16.
His
first car is going to be a Bugatti.
His first car will not be a car.
No,
it will be a yacht.
Yeah.
But, I guess he has to drive somewhere.
Sing a song from a Will Ferrell movie, but I can't sing that on the air.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Boats and Here's the thing with that. Good for him, though. I mean, frankly, that's not the path. Like Pops is saying, son, if you work hard, you keep playing, practice, take some swings in the backyard. One day, ESPN is going to show your game, and you're going to be able to take that joystick. You're going to be able to hit a couple buttons, maybe A to B, and maybe they even have an X these days. I remember on the old Nintendo pad, it was like 2 of them. But, son, you're going to win $3.2 million one day, and they're going to have a whole arena of kids that are wearing shirts with pictures of Mario and Luigi on it that are going to be celebrating your name. Good for him.
That's what I was going to say. Where's this kind of stuff when we were 16? Like, we could have cleaned up at Mario Kart. Like,
yes. So, at this point, we got to realize that $3.2 million. You know who can do a lot with that? John Steele, the retirement planners, who will be joining us coming up here in a few minutes from now. Jerry Jones comments, can we still win a Super Bowl without Zeke? Heck yeah. Look, try to prove that you can win a Super Bowl first because you haven't won in 23 years. And the Toronto Blue Jays, if you haven't seen them, by the way, this is a side personal note. They're just making me feel old. When they have now Bo Bichette, Kevon Biggio, and Vlad Guerrero Jr. Those are 3 guys I remember watching. Those were all-stars. Dante Bichette for the Rockies. Played with Larry Walker and that great crew, Vinny Castillo. Yep. You had a number of guys throughout. We need to get this on camera, by the way.
Okay.
Hey, click over there. Look at that. Walked over the side. But you had Dante Bichette. Now you have his son, Bo Bichette. You have Kevon Biggio, Craig Biggio's son. And you have Vlad Guerrero Jr., who was crushing it in the home run derby. These guys were all like, I watched them as like a teenager. Like, this is getting old.
Yeah.
I might have a kid. If you see someone take their helmet and they slam it because they're 0 for 15 at the plate, and somehow they snuck into a stadium and convinced somebody that they're a major league player, and he's around 18 years old, and then he has spiky black hair, I'll be like, crap. And he plays for Toronto because he's north of the border too. Crap. So you never know these days with the ages.
Sims. No.
When we come back, we're going to take a look. No, definitely not. Yeah, I don't think that was hers last name. When we come back, we're going to talk a little more about some of the craziest injuries, like from Marty Cordova burning his face, falling asleep in a tanning bed, to John Smoltz. Look, we all need to iron our shirt sometimes, but when you're wearing it, not the greatest idea.
Grab it by the handle, John.
And Ken Griffey, something happened with his cup playing center field. We're coming back for more. I don't want to tell that story right here on the Sports Drive.
It's Chad Brillante. This past Saturday at Grizzly Axes was a blast. I did not win the hanging challenge, but I did beat JC's time. Heyo! Grizzly Axes is an exhilarating team-building experience. Corporate events, bachelorette parties, heck, even hanging out with your friends after work, enjoying some cold beer and throwing axes. Grizzly Axes, Pensacola's go-to location for stress-releasing fun. Reserve your zone right now at grizzlyaxe.com. Maybe win the $100 hanging challenge. Be a grown axe man at Grizzly Axes on Davis Highway.
Paul Feinbaum here for the Southeast leader for cranes and equipment rental, Craneworks. The Craneworks team in Nashville, Birmingham, and Mobile is ready to make your next construction or maintenance project a big success. Give Craneworks a call for your next lift, machinery moving, or rigging project. And don't forget, RentalWorks has a full line of rental equipment for jobs both big and small, and now offering qualified operators for all equipment, including aerial and earth-moving equipment. Call Craneworks at 877-282-LIFT or visit them on the web at craneworks.com.
If you're hitting 200 at the plate for the Pensacola Blue Wahoos, life isn't that great. But if you're hitting up 200 before the Wahoos games, things can't get much better. 200 South is your Blue Wahoos pre-party destination. Grab an ice-cold draft with the best selection in town at World of Beer. Relax in the most hoppin' spot at Blend Lounge. Or grab a quick bite to eat at Graffiti Pizza or Taco Aguave before the game. 200 South Palafox in downtown Pensacola. Peanuts and Cracker Jacks are all right, but a slice and an ice-cold draft, now that's a home run.
If you're a small business owner, there's no better place to find the impact hire to help your business than LinkedIn. LinkedIn Jobs takes the time to learn more about who you're looking for and then recommends qualified candidates from their community of engaged and career-minded people, candidates who you likely won't be able to reach anywhere else. The truth is, over 70% of the U.S. workforce is on LinkedIn, and posting your job on LinkedIn gives you the best chance of finding and starting a conversation with your next star recruit. It's no surprise a new hire is made every 8 seconds using LinkedIn. So build your winning team by posting a job on LinkedIn and visit linkedin.com/sports to get $50 off your first job post. That's linkedin.com/sports for $50 off your first job post. linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
And welcome back, Sports Drive with you right here, ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV. Having some fun. Yes, we will turn that down. You have been connected to the, oh, there you go. You can breathe again. Joining us now from the retirement planners who, speaking to his good ear now.
Thank you.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
John, what's happening today, my friend?
Hey, all kinds of good stuff, man. I've been having all kinds of fun. I brought in a bunch of stuff which none of you are interested in.
Oh, well, there you go.
I thought the most ridiculous things professional athletes have spent their money on.
Okay.
I know. You know, money.
You reminded me of tax day, like something I have to hear, but I'm like,
yeah. Do you remember there's a soccer player named Messi?
Lionel, yeah.
Yeah, you've heard of him? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was worth about $340 million, and he had a problem with his neighbors, so he bought their house and threw them out.
That's pretty awesome. That's like Ed Sheeran just bought the entire neighborhood. The guy he lives in England. His neighbors, he was building extra stuff, and they were all cranky out there, like, you are building too much and keeping my kids up. Had to sound like Cartman from there. But all of a sudden, he's like, and all of a sudden, he said, okay, we're buying your whole neighborhood. So bought her house, bought the other person's house for like $1.8 million. Pretty cool that you could just buy your neighbor's house.
Did you know
more of a party.
Did you know that Mike Tyson spent $535,000
on pigeons? Yep.
On the purchase, care, and training of 3 Bengal tigers.
Wow. There we go.
Which he owned for a year.
I see.
And he sold them after he was sued when his tigers bit somebody.
Oh, there you go.
Who knew?
Who knew that was going to happen? You got a bunch of tigers.
They were just after like him.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they bit an ear.
I was going to say, did they go after the ear? Like father, like son?
Something like that. Tyson bought his first wife a $2.2 million 24-karat solid gold bathtub.
Wow. That's...
I was in the Philippines for 2 years. I used to take showers with a bucket and an empty coffee can.
Right.
A $2.2 million gold, 24-karat gold.
Well, but his wife is, I guess that his wife. He used to have a wife named Bonnie. I guess that would be a different gold bond, right?
all
right.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
And there was a guy named Jefferson. He used to play. So he was 6'10". And he had a custom bed.
He was moving on up, right?
Yeah, he had a custom. Yeah, on the east side. East side.
And the north at 6'10".
Well, apparently. But anyway, he had a custom bed built. Cost him $23,000, but his bed is 10 foot by 12 foot.
Ah.
Yeah, bigger than most New York apartments.
Yeah.
When you were a kid, did you guys, any of you do the bunk beds growing up? I think it doesn't matter what age.
A bed?
Bunk bed.
You had a bed?
You had to sleep in the log cabin next to your brother on top of the bed.
Actually, we had 2 little twin beds upstairs in this old farmhouse, and my dad, who was cheap, would not allow any heat from the lower part of the house to rise up to our bedroom in the middle of winter. That's Illinois. I used to sleep with my window open year-round, and then I'd get up in the middle of December or January and shake the snow off my blanket.
Builds character.
To get ready.
I was going to say.
And
frostbite.
No wonder he's a Packers fan. He
builds character and pneumonia.
In fact, I'm only into players named Aaron. Rogers, Jones. right on down the line.
Yeah. He couldn't ever. Every time you see, most like horror movies give people nightmares. Frosty the Snowman. Every time John sees that,
He's my buddy.
He is.
Him and Casper.
All the snowmen you built in your room that night from the window.
I know a couple of jokes, but I don't know if I can share them on the air.
No, please.
We'll take a quick time out.
I think we got by last week, so let's not go.
It's one of them about writing "Merry Christmas" in the snow.
Oh yeah. Happy holidays.
And it looked like his daughter's handwriting. But anyway,
Too much
we won't get into that.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. All right, let's go to our next one.
Now, what do we want here? Let's see about Darius Miles, pro basketball player, tricked out his ride with 30-inch wheels, but even that isn't the craziest way he's spending money. He had a Benjamin Franklin on a $100 bill painted on the side of the car hood. What came across as a tribute to the former president, or to the $100 he's
he wasn't
printed
a president, though.
I know he wasn't. This guy doesn't even know what he's doing.
What kind of... Yeah, let's see. We've just this whole. You're talking about painting Benjamin Franklin on the side of a car, so the credibility was already going to it. Yeah, that's over right there.
Darnell Dockett had a baby
alligator.
alligator.
This article, by the way, so we can call.
You
him.
Like that one? There you go.
Who cheapseats.com/money.
It's on the front.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a bunch.
Emma Blesnak.
Now,
Let's get her name. Yeah,
I heard of this guy.
We have a thing on the show.
I heard of this guy, Kurt Schilling.
I've heard of him.
You've heard of him?
Emma Blesnak.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Get her name down.
Okay, $50 million video game empire. Red Sox legend developed 38 studios off his baseball namesake, dumped $50 million into his empire in 2010. By 2012, the entire company went bankrupt.
Not a good idea.
But anyway, Chad Johnson. What did he do? What did Chad Johnson do? He had a headboard of his bed built into an aquarium, saltwater, with a lot of tropical fish. It helped him sleep.
Look, the Rays did that. The Marlins did that behind home plate. It hasn't helped them win games, but it's something to distract them from their losing. Maybe he can. But here's another one. I want to bring up this point, John, before we get out for the Blue Wahoos game, and we will continue here.
Well, talk about something important. This stuff's all joke.
They think Benjamin Franklin, Emma Blesnak. We're going to get her name. We're going to handcuff her into it. Not literally, folks.
Yeah.
But
Where did you study history?
We get these people on the show.
You into bondage like that?
Bail bond? How many goats are we talking? On that note, we're going to talk Jameis Winston when we return, right here on the Sports Drive. Blue Wahoos game coming up, folks. Have a great rest of your night.
This is Pensacola's hometown all-sports station and home of the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 945. Catch all the Wahoos games home and away all season, plus all the latest Wahoos news from Chad Brilliante on the Sports Drive, 5 till game time weeknights. And hey, if your business would like to partner with us as an advertiser or with a local sports promotion, then give us a call at 850-262-6000 or shoot us an email from the advertise page on ESPNpensacola.com.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Right now, Bengals receiver A.J. Green could miss multiple regular season games following surgery on a torn ligament in his left ankle. Colts quarterback Andrew Luck won't practice the next 2 days after a setback with his calf strain. He will not play in the preseason opener. Luck's latest injury, one reason Indy's resisted trading QB Jacoby Brissett, notes ESPN Colts reporter Mike Wells.
So they have experience in Brissett, and they hope if they were forced to have to play Brissett, they would be fine. I mean, the reality is the Colts will not be as good if Jacoby Brissett starts. No offense to Jacoby, but he's no Andrew Luck. Luck gives the Colts the best chance to win. But if they're forced to, they have zero problem starting Jacoby Brissett.
Mike Wells on Spain and Company. Brissett has been working with the starters in Luck's absence. Seattle first-round pick L.J. Collier sustained a high ankle sprain today at practice. Not yet known how long he might be sidelined. NBA, the agent for C.J. McCollum told ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski the Trailblazers guard agreed to a